was really excited about the 1 Month to Live challenge because in the last 5 years I've watched two very good friends of mine die, and so I have watched them go through the 1 Month to Live challenge head on. And I think that watching the two of them pursue their lives with such passion and such intensity in the midst of the process of dying really encouraged me to live my life completely abandoned for the Lord Jesus.
The biggest difference that this made in my life was how it encouraged me to realize that I can't just put off evangelistic opportunities, to be able to invite people to come to know this God that's changed my life.
The thing is, I was so bombarded with a lot of stuff going on around me that I almost didn't even come. I was just to the point where I was like, I really just don't have time for this. But I knew in my heart, and Shane and I talked about it, that I had to do something, needed something. So, and I felt like God was pushing me to do something. So I came here, and from the very first day, I knew we were going to have a special little group. And as I went through it, at the end of the first week, I mean, my whole mind, my whole focus was different. And the biggest thing that changed it wasn't about what I could get, what I could have, anything like that. But I mean, instantly, the first thing I did was I looked at my wife, looked at my God, looked at my family, and said, you're really kind of dropping the ball there. And we all know that in the end, it's family that counts. And so I think the biggest impact, and it's still going to be an ongoing impact, is that, I look at those things now and say, what I'm about to say, think, or do, how's this going to affect my family? And they're the most important thing to me. So
the Monday before the first session, me and Shane had like a 2-hour talk about some personal issues that I was going through on the time of my life right now. And he was telling me he really wanted me to go to this group. And I was kind of like, John, I was kind of hesitant to come because of some situation I went to. But I said, I'll give it a try. And like the very first night, I could, I just felt, at peace. It helped me out in my situation, mainly just for unforgiveness, dealing with, things that people that wrongs you or hurt you. And the part that really says the love part of the book really challenged my life. Love completely. Like the testimony the lady gave about her son, that was killed when she was in the courthouse. Just her testimony on by that, and just if she can react that way when somebody offended her and killed her child, and here I am holding on to an offense, really put things in perspective. And
what I've learned from 1 Month to Live is just not taking my time for granted with my son and worried about whether my house is spotless or not. But I've just been enjoying time with my son, playing and making messes and just going with the flow.
The biggest thing was just to really learn to focus on God. That had drifted away, and I realized that there are so many other things in life that we look for fulfillment. Mm-hmm. And this last section was the biggest impact on me, was that ultimately fulfillment comes from God, even in your marriage. So it's one of those things that you just really have to put God first. And that's probably the biggest thing, the biggest impact.
It touched base with me because I felt that in the past year. My child's father and I split up, and it was a really hard time. And I was just at a point where I was lost, I was done. I was sick of trying everything. I'd been trying everything for years, so many different things to try and fill my time. If I was feeling lonely, well, let's try this. If, anything that I needed, I would try something to shake that. And after so many years, I was just done. All of my answers weren't right. Nothing I chose worked, and just done. And learned that God's way is made to be easier. He's not there to inhibit you and to keep you from enjoying a different kind of life, whereas, this might be funner. Yeah, it might be funner, but think of the consequences that are going to come, even 5 years down the road. And so if you follow the things that he says, they're there to make your life easier. While they're not always seeming like the best choice at the time, in the end, it saves you a lot of heartbreak, time to refix what your choices have made. Because if you make the choices that he doesn't want you to make, you will spend that much more time trying to get backwards to where he wanted you to be. So, yeah, just learn that his way is just a lot easier and a lot better for your life.
1 month left has helped me decide what's important in my life, and I think I've become a better person because I stopped doing things that I was doing before that really didn't make no sense and really didn't help me out at all. Just sort of brought me down. When 1 month lives has helped me decide what's important, and now that I know what's important, I don't let things that's not important stress me out as much as I used to, and I just feel like a better person now.
Basically, it's brought me back to God, you know. And I mean, I just said a 10-minute version of it out there, but like, you know, all that really doesn't matter because it brought me back to God, you know. And after 15 years, you know, I'm actually praying again, and I'm reading the Bible again, and I'm actively seeking Him again. And I can't think of anything better that it could have done for me.
This 1 month to live, God has changed my life by every day I used to go to work and I was a little angry and upset, and now I smile and I'm filled with joy. God has opened my eyes into a whole different world, and every day I want to grow stronger and learn more about Him.
This 1 month to live challenge has really made me open my eyes and really want to change my life and live it a different way, and God's really affected it, and everything's just changed now after this. I want to live my life the best as I can, and stop the habits. You know, don't go back to being, just because this is over, don't go back to being the old Jeremy, you know, this is a new body, and amen to that.
This is what life's a lot about. I grew up shy, we moved a lot. I was even afraid of my own family, friends, didn't have much friends. You might want to be my friend. But then when my husband passed away, I tell you, a lot of that changed. And I was tired of being alone, didn't want to be afraid of people anymore, and I already started getting out of that. And then I got to the point where I grew up as a Christian, but never really fully lived for God. And now I went to the extreme of wanting to know, what do you want me to do now, Lord? I know you got something for me. But now what I'm realizing, God's growing me, and when He's ready, He will tell me, and I just need to enjoy my family, friends, and life right where I'm at right now until God's ready to reveal it.